Yo, what is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we are going to be going through and talking about the best cards to buy right now in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM at each position. There are a few, at least, good viable options at every single position in MyTEAM, and I'm going to be breaking this list down. Yes, the player market gets used significantly less and significantly less effectively than it was prior to gambling-only content being introduced, and it's kind of ruined the player market, which has made these type of videos a lot harder to do. But at the same time, I'm excited to do this video, and hopefully it does help out a lot of y'all. So before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 30,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day, tons of consistent daily MyTEAM content. Would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Without further ado, let's hop right into it, and let's start off with the point guard position. The best point guards to buy. I truly believe the best point guard that you can buy right now is kind of opinion. I think there are four guys at the point guard position who all give you similar things and are all kind of opinion depending on what you're looking at. And I'm just going to list those four guys. Nick Batum. Where are the other three? Amin Thompson, Jeremy Sohan, and Sean Livingston, all of whom are at a very minimum 6'7". Some of them are 6'8". All of them are very capable defenders, some of them truly exceptional defenders, but I think all of them give you very similar things. A lot of size, the ability to hit a wide open three, some varying levels of shot creation. I would say Batum is probably the best overall shot creator in terms of his SIGs. Sohan, I think, might have my favorite release of the group, although I would not say any of them are incredible. Livingston might actually have my favorite release of the group, actually. All of them are very athletic. I think as a whole, they all kind of give you the same thing, and so that's why I kind of grouped them all together at the point guard position. Outside of that, I mean, Gary Payton's an option, but I don't think he's quite as good. Outside of that, all the other viable options are pretty bad, because you start getting to guys like Scoot Henderson, who's bad. You start getting to a Jamal Crawford, not that good. Like a lot of these guys, even a Jaden Ivey, he's not bad for a pink diamond, but in general, once you get past these first few taller, newer options, you start looking at some of the more mediocre options, and I just don't think they're all that elite. So the point guard position consists of several guys who all kind of give you the same thing, but I do believe picking any of those four guys at your point guard position will work out just fine. Now, the cheapest one is Sohan, so I might just wind up going with him just based off of value, because I think, again, they all do pretty much the exact same thing, but it really is, in my opinion, a matter of opinion at the PG spot. Now, the shooting guard position is less versatile in the point guard spot. You don't have as many guys, but I will say the one guy who is really, really good from the shooting guard position is Mike Miller. I think Mike Miller is the best shooting guard in the game. He is a elite level shooter, really smooth release, 6'8", versatile, good defender, and actually a good slasher as well. Has half posterizer, has a bunch of shooting badges, can defend well, anchor, clamps, glove, that type of stuff, fast feet, right stick gripper. I believe he has gold immovable enforcer as well. He's got all the key gold badges that he needs. Like, this card defends really well. He's got a great release. He's got a ton of size. He does a lot of things really well overall, and just is a really good card at the shooting guard position. Outside of him, the next best option is going to be Kyle Korver, who is basically Mike Miller. Excuse me, similar release, elite level shooter, not quite as athletic of a shot creator as Mike Miller is. He's not as big of a shot creator, definitely not as good of a slasher, and he is an inch shorter as well. So there are a few reasons to me why I think Korver would probably slot in at the number 2 spot when at the shooting guard position, but I don't think he's bad. Another good card that came out last week is this Wally Szczerbiak card. I never did a gameplay with him, but he's got a butter release. He's just a really good shooter. He's okay athletically, defensively not amazing, but not terrible. Will hold it down, but again, he's just an elite level shooter who's got pretty good all around badges, solidly complete badges. Definitely not a bad card, but I don't know if he's quite as good as the other two, but still not a terrible option at his position. Now, small forward position, I think, is pretty distinctly number one. Again, the number one option is pretty distinct, and it's this Dorian Finney-Smith card. This card came out yesterday. He's 6'7", which has an unbelievable size, but he's got a great release. He's really versatile, defends very well, and just overall does a lot of things at a very high level as an overall small forward, because he can put the ball on the floor as well. He's got Trey Escape. He's got Jamal Murray's, Steph behind the back, so that's like a couple of really good SIGs. As a whole, the card is really good. And I think he's probably, I don't know. Like a 6'7" is a little small, but he is one of the better small forwards in the game in terms of his overall like his animations and sigs and stuff. In addition to just being a really complete stat and badge wise versatile card, so I think he's definitely your best viable small forward. Outside of that, your options are definitely pretty limited when it comes to small forward. But I think your next best option is probably not here. Pink Diamond Tari Eason from this Bionic set. This card is 6'8". He himself is really good defensively. He's got fast touch, posterizer, agent 3 catch, corner, limitless range. So he's got some shooting and some playmaking, or some slashing, but mostly anchor clamps, glove, blow by, fast feet, rise to cripper, bulldozer, 94 feet. Got gold, movable enforcer. Defends really well at 6'8". And then has, like I said, half limitless and half slashing badges as well. So a lot to like as a whole about this Tari Eason card. And I think he's definitely a very, very solid option. I don't know. He's not quite as good as Dorian Finney-Smith, in my opinion, although I will say his release is also very nice, so that does help Tari Eason. The third guy that I guess I'd recommend is not as good. I don't think quite as good anyway, but Cam Whitmore, not bad. Again, he's only 6'7", so it doesn't have unbelievable size. Not quite as good of a defender as a guy like Dorian Finney-Smith, but he is super athletic, can shoot, can definitely slash at a very high level as well, and then he's a pretty good defender. Honestly, kind of similar to these other guys in terms of just gold handles for days, solid, complete gold badges, pretty complete, does a lot of things well. I don't think he plays quite as big as DFS. I don't think he's quite as good all the way around as a Dorian Finney-Smith, but I think he definitely is a good option as well. Though 126K for him, you're better off just buying Dorian and then honestly buying Tari Eason if you need a second one for a buyable card. I don't think Cam Whitmore's worth his price quite as much. So that being said, the power forward position literally only has a couple guys that I think are actually worth using. Really, there's one guy at the power forward position who is absolutely head and shoulders above everybody else at his position. That's not even close. And honestly, at center too, he's the best. So it's this Mo Bamba that came out yesterday. By far, he is basically Bol Bol with very similar sigs to Bol Bol, legit shot creation ability, a great behind the back, 7 foot with a 7'10" wingspan. Like, this card is very, very glitchy and very, very good. At the same time, I do think he is. I mean, his release is super nice. He can play center as well. I consider him a power forward because I think competitively that's where I'd run him, is at power forward. But he is the best viable big man in the game right now, I think, regardless of whatever position you're trying to look for him at. So obviously Bol Bol is kind of your number one option. Outside of that, you got a couple of more so non-shooting power forwards. Dwight Howard and Alonzo Mourning are basically the same card. Dwight has better sigs than Alonzo, which is why I think Dwight is better. But in general, they're both great stat and badge cards who have very mediocre releases and are limited as shooters because of such. I think Alonzo's a bit better of a shooter than Dwight in terms of his ratings, but Dwight has the additional playmaking ability, and neither of them are elite shooters anyway, so I think Dwight is probably your better option between the two. But they both give you, realistically, pretty much the same thing in my team. Outside of that, I think I would say, I mean, I don't even know at this point. I feel like that's about it at the power forward position. The thing is, there's just so many limited options. And then the center position, realistically, I mean, there's two-ish that you could use, but I almost want to say even one at the center position, because the only card that I think is realistically worth using 100% at the center position, besides Mo Bamba, who I already said, is this Artis Gilmore. He's 7'2", very good release, really nice defender, like guards these giant glitchy bigs at a very high level, which provides a lot of value overall, obviously. I just think, I don't know, like his release is really good, but he's only got a 66 3 ball, so his shooting is a little bit limited, so that does hold this card back a little bit. There are some things that you definitely would prefer to be a bit better on Artis Gilmore still, because of the lower release, lower 3-ball rating and some of that type of stuff. And while I think he's a really solid card, and I think he does provide a lot of positional value, I don't know, like, he's the best center by far, besides, I guess I should say, Mo Bamba, who I already talked about. Outside of that, though, he is your best option in terms of viable bigs, but I still think, I don't know, at this point, the lower 3-ball rating annoys me. I still like Artis. He's still in my lineup, but it does get on my nerves. The final card, and I don't love this card, but if you're looking for somebody, Arvydas Sabonis will get the job done. He's 7'3", so at least he's got the size to guard, and he can step out and shoot the ball, though his release is pretty bad. This card's not awful. I just don't think he's unbelievably great or anything like that. I feel like pretty fair spot, honestly, to put him where he is right now on this list. I don't know. I'm just not the biggest fan in the world of this Arvydas Sabonis card this year. I certainly don't think he's bad. I just think there have been better options for sure. So, yeah, that's the last player I'm going to put on this list. I'm not going to force anybody else to be on this list when I think in general a lot of them are just really, really not very good cards. So, Yeah, like the player market's just weak at the end of the day, and that's something you definitely have to keep in mind and definitely have to be aware of because, I mean, I don't know. At the end of the day, like you're kind of limited in the options that you have at each position, but as long as you're aware of who your options are and who the really good options are, I still think you can build a very competent lineup between free rewards, between the player market, between all that type of stuff. So that is going to do it for today's video. So I hope y'all did enjoy. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.